we go just down south from across the border from the USA down to Mexico at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Welcome along to Tier 4 for Breakout Racing League, round 19 out of 24, and we've arrived at the Mexican Grand Prix. Mexican Grand Prix then, 17 corners, 10 to the right and 7 to the left, 3 DRS zones, 1 down the main straight of turn 1, and then the other one, the second one going from turn 3 to turn 4. Those will be your 2 main overtaking opportunities, and also could be in for a surprise at the third DRS zone going into turn 12. The 3 sectors that we have, Sector 1 is mainly straights, as we've only got 3 corners. Then, Sector 2, a bit of a twisty part there, and can possibly cause a few incidents here tonight. Then, Sector 3, you go through the amazing stadium section that Mexico is very much known to have. And, well, with the threat of possibly rain, which has shown up in the past couple of years, it could happen here tonight. We'll have to find out. Welcome along. Like I said, welcome along. My host, wow. My name is Minico, and alongside me is Zach. Now, Zach, we have seen plenty of racing action here, not only real life, but also in Breakout Racing League, where titles have been decided here, and action into turn 1 is nothing short of exciting. What are your thoughts coming into this?
Well, get rid of any weather-related questions. It's going to be a dry race, so let's get everything out of the way there. But something I'm very excited for is, you paid attention to Tier 3. Everyone was trying to outbreak each other going into turn 1, especially on the start, and we saw it. Ardell started P3 and was P1 coming out of turn 3, so if I had to pick a position to start from, I think it had to be P3.
Yeah, that could definitely be a good place to start, as you have the slipstream from the cars in front of you. We'll have to find out how everyone is going to mitigate that, and most importantly, strategy. Strategy could possibly be a 2-stop or a 1-stop, depending on the tire that you're on. And right now, mainly people are selecting softs, but that could all change here tonight, as we got 36 laps. The tire wear, surprisingly, very, very high, more than any other, really. Let's go over to the championship standings then. Phantom currently leads the standings by 68 points over James B. He gained quite a few points at USA last week. Ball Guy in P3. The top 3 are the only ones that are able to compete for the championship. Johan Laura, who unfortunately has not shown up here tonight, was knocked out by a single point, is 157 points behind in P4. So the top 3 are the only ones that can grab the title. It's not going to happen tonight, but that could definitely change. We could definitely see a bit of a change, as Ball Guy is actually within a P3 of James B. Speaking of which, he's left the session as someone got disqualified for going the wrong way. Who was that? That was Henchman. Oh, not the start he wanted.
Yeah, that is definitely not the start he needed, because if you look at the stat sheet, that is illegal, Frizy. So if that was very illegal. Once again,
getting a bit too loose.
Anyway, nonetheless, I lost my train of thought. Nice, but
you had no idea what you were thinking of.
No. Now I thought of it. If you look at the stat sheet for Tier 4, as Butters actually retired going out of the S section, so that's already 2 drivers down. And nonetheless, if you look at the stat sheet, Hinchman is the driver with the most time penalties on average every race, which is something that is not good and needs to improve on.
Yeah, well, as of right now, he's currently sitting P10 in the championship. He's under threat, though, from last week's race winner of Slayer, in which both are here tonight. Obviously, Henchman disqualified. Slayer, though, can definitely do something here tonight. We're going to stay on board with Phantom here, as he's going to be the one to set a lap time. Slayer actually goes on to provisional pole with a 1:16.2. That's the time everyone's got to beat. Phantom, though, has currently set a purple Sector 1. What can he do in Sector 2? Shredder goes up to P2, and Square up into P3, but by a huge huge margin, but that will most likely change. Phantom then through Sector 2. He's kept it nice and easy. It is not a purple Sector 2, however. Valkyrie is out at Sector 2. That is a third crash. I said before that these curbs can bite at Sector 2.
Redeemer's also dead.
Yeah, I noticed that as well on the minimap. Yeah, Redeemer's round. Phantom comes around the final corner. He goes up to P2 ahead of Shredder with a 116.8. A good lap time from the Alfa Romeo, the current championship leader. Will he go for pole, or will he stay on those mediums? That's the question. What are your thoughts?
Well, considering that Phantom's done 2 laps, I think he's going to go for soft route.
That could most likely happen. We'll have to find out. There's still 12 minutes left of qualifying. Only 4 people left to set a lap next to set a lap time. I believe the next person is going to be the Alpine of Dace Freak. No, it's not. He's actually invalidated and has come into the pit. So instead, it's going to be, I believe, the Aston Martin of, nope, not Ethab. It's actually of Dominus Square. Never mind, he goes into the pits. Ethab's invalidated, so he will not get a lap in. As, well, will he set another lap? Yes, he will, so he's going to come across the line. But about Sprightly, he's kept it valid, now going through the stadium section of Sector 3. The crowd, very passionate of Sergio Perez. Well, unfortunately, Sergio Perez isn't here, but I believe they'll be cheering on Ethab, as this is his home race. Ethab, who's a reserve for this race. This is his home race. We'll have to see what he can do. As Avi, I believe. No, that wasn't Avi. My mistake. That was Frizy, who's gone up to P4 in the Mercedes.
Well, something surprisingly to talk about is that we're already 7 minutes in the qualifying, and only 6 drivers have set a bad lap time. 5 if you don't count that 39 flat from Dominus Square.
I just saw Redeemer go wide at the start of the stadium section. He still managed to keep it valid. He set a purple Sector 2. Is that real? Maybe? I don't know. But he's put himself P3 directly behind his teammate. Another decent qualifying for the Alfa Romeo. That's something to note, speaking of which. Redeemer, as of recently, has really picked up the pace. He said at the start of the season that he was adjusting to a new wheel. Needless to say, he's definitely gotten used to it, as ever since Belgium, where he got his first ever podium this season, he has picked it up. P4, we're going to ignore the P13 at Monza, then P8, his first win in Japan, and then a top 4. Alfa Romeo in the second half, looking strong.
Yeah, James B is starting a flyer lap time going down the long straight. One of the longest straights, by the way, ever for a long straight. Interesting fact for you, the first FIA has made it, not FIA, F1 made a regulation for a track to be a circuit. At least turn 1 or turn 2 has to be a 90-degree corner. So interesting fact for you there.
Indeed they are. It is very much a 90-degree corner. James B does not set a purple Sector 1, but we're going to stay on board with the AlphaTauri going through the double hairpin, which is very weird in my opinion. Ball Guy goes up to P3 in the Ferrari, only just over a tenth adrift of Phantom. James B getting a little bit squirrely on the S section, those curves again, like I said, really biting, and that's exactly what's happening, but James B's managed to keep it clean. Not a purple Sector 2, however. Is it competitive, though, to the likes of Phantom, to the likes of Redeemer? Those are the laps that he has to beat. Consider the fact that he's on the medium compound of tire. Here he goes, then, through turn 16. And turn 17, be easy on the power, which he does so. Where does he put that AlphaTauri? He puts himself P4, ahead of Redeemer.
Yes, so looking at the next drive across the line to put down a lap time, I believe it will be slow and steady. Plus, Bald Guy, no, I'm pretty sure it's Bald Guy, he's invalidated, only 3 tenths up on his lap time. I believe that's Avi, yes it is. Behind Avi is slow and steady. Hitting the DRS button now, but nonetheless, this is going to be a very tight grid.
Oh. A little bit wide there to slow and steady at turn 13, but he still managed to keep it valid as he lifted. It's weird how you can exploit that, but we move. Slow and steady through the final corner. Where does the Red Bull go? He goes up to P4 behind Ball Guy. So a decent lap time from the Red Bull, as it's a 17.2, but it's a full second off of Slayer on the same compounded tires. So Slayer putting in a very good lap time as he's actually coming around the final corner, and he betters that time by a full second with a 15.2. What a lap!
Wow, 1.6 ahead of Phantom, who is P2.
That's, if I'm not mistaken,
That's faster
that
than Tier 3.
matches, if not,
No,
yeah, that
beats
matches,
Tier
if not
3.
almost beats it. Holy.
What
He
a-
was saying before that he had pace around here. Needless to say, he's shown it, in which Slayer has shown pace as of recently as well, as he picked up a win. His second win of the season last week in dominant fashion, needless to say. And looks like he is set to do it again. Phantom, though, he improves on his lap time with a 1:15.6, but he's still just under 4/10 adrift from Slayer. So that is crucial.
Next person to cross the line that still set a bad lap time is Crusader Ethab in the Aston Martin. Like you said, he is a hometown driver, and he goes P3 for 16 seconds, whole second off of Phantom, and a second and a half off of Slayer.
In terms of Tier 4, that is still a decent lap time from the Aston Martin. We'll have to see what he can do. Shredder goes up to P3 now with a 16.2, a full second off of Slayer. But Haas, a little bit on the back foot this weekend. Johan Laura hasn't shown up, and, well, Shredder's going to be the one flying the flag. Obviously, he got a podium last week at USA. It was his second podium of the season. He's going to want to do it again, as they are trying to chase Alfa Romeo down in the Constructors. Let's take a look at the Constructors as of right now. Alfa Romeo currently leading the standings by a P1, P2 plus fastest lap, so 44 points over Haas. Haas definitely aren't going to get that here tonight, but he's just going to have to try and reduce the damage, or if both Alfa Romeo's DNF try and maximize points, we'll just have to see what Shredder can do. Ferrari in P3, quite a distance away from Haas, so I think that might be where they will be at near the end of the season, unless AlphaTauri, currently in P4, can catch them up. P5 goes to Alpine with 169 points, overtaking Red Bull after Slayer getting his first win. Red Bull having a lackluster race last week. McLaren sit P7, 132 points. That's Williams in P8. Mercedes P9, as Williams and Mercedes are separated by 2 points. Very close gap between those two. P10 going to Aston Martin with only 7 points. Aston Martin have had a terrible season here in Tier 4. We'll have to see how that plays out next season, but this isn't next season. This is this season. As we've got 4 minutes and 40 seconds left of qualifying. So far, everyone that hasn't retired has set a lap time. And we'll see who could possibly go for pole, as I think everyone is just going to come into the pits to sort out their laps. Well, not Ball Guy, actually, he's on a lap right now.
Something I've noticed is that the track has gotten a little bit more overcast. It's not something to note.
A little. There definitely is a difference, but the sun is still out, so the grip is still very much there. But yeah, it has gotten a little bit, but like you said, it was going to be a dry session at the start, so that will most likely stay the same. We're going to stay on board with Ball Guy, as he's going to be really one of the only people to set a lap time right now. He is the only person on a lap time, if I'm not mistaken. Sprightly is retired. That is in the pits. So Sprightly no longer going to participate in qualifying and will line up P7 for now. That could all change, though, as James B is on an outlap. Dominant Square, he can improve on his position. A lot of people can improve on their position, but the best that Sprightly will finish is P7. Ball Guy comes across the line, and he improves by only 1 spot, going ahead of Redeemer for P5.
So, Slayer is on an outlap going through Sector 3 now. James B is on a lap, so Slayer just has perfect track around him. No one ahead or behind him here, except for his teammate. of Dace Freak that's actually coming out of the pit lane now. Could we see a little bit of slipstream come into play? But the sun is no longer out. It's just forecast.
Yeah, I just noticed that. So the sun is now gone, and the grip is now going to start to go down. We'll see how everyone can manage it. Slayer is going to be one of the next people to start a lap time. Obviously, James B is ahead of him, but are Alpine going to have slipstream? Think so. They are close, but Dace Freak, not, well, I was about to say he's impeding his lap, but it's not quite. So Slayer getting a little bit of a slipstream, but he's down by 15 thousandths in Sector 1. We'll see what he can do in Sector 2, but so far not what he wants for the start of his lap. James B has backed off, so he's not going to be able to improve his lap time, and he's most likely going to go again. Bald Guy went up to P3 in the Ferrari. Good lap.
Slayer is actually up by a tenth, so if he like sets a 14, I think that's going to be qualifying over.
Yeah, that would be quite the lap time. Slayer coming around the final corner. Can he do it again? Can he better his lap time? He can by 1.126. That beats Tier 3 pole time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's no question about it. That beats Tier 3. That's like mid-Tier 2. Mid-Tier 2.
What a lap. And he's actually giving slipstream now to his teammate. And the sun's starting to poke out again.
Yeah.
Is that slipstream for Alpine? That is slipstream for Alpine.
Oh.
Oh, and he pulls out just the last second. Has that helped? 1.9 in the first sector alone. That's helped.
Yeah.
We'll stay on board with Daze Freak for this one. Obviously, Daze Freak, he got a surprise pole position last week as he mastered the timing and managed to put himself at the top. We'll see if he can do it again. But that is going to be a very tough ask, as he is not going to be able to use the conditions to his advantage. But he's going through the third sector now. Ball Guy is retired for the session. He lined up P4. James B has improved up to P6 in the AlphaTauri. Dace Freak comes around the final couple of corners. Where can he put that Alpine? Where does he put it? P9. So P1, P9 for Alpine. That slipstream may not have put him into the top 5, but still a good position.
Yes, so the person that would be in the perfect spot, 8 seconds to qualifying, by the way. Phantom barely crosses the stripe in time. And Redeemer, Crusade eats that, but Slayer all done. So the best person in the best situation, in my opinion, right now is Shredder. And he's not going to improve on his lap time because he's 2 seconds down. Avi's not going to improve.
Backed off.
I wonder if Dace Freak's looking for another run. He invalidated this now, so it won't matter. So, and Phantom is actually barely down on his time. So, like somewhat of a tenth better than his Sector 1 time, but won't be enough unless Sector 2 and Sector 3 are magical for the Alfa Romeo driver. But go to the S section, and that will do it.
Yeah, that will do it. He's invalidated, I assume. Slow and Steady has kept it valid. However, he's going through the third sector as of right now. He's 4 tenths up on his lap time. We'll see what he can do in the final sector. Where can he put that Red Bull in response to Alpine getting a win? Only P8.
That will be qualifying done and dusted because Phantom got on the curve too much, 3.5 seconds down. And Dominant Square is 2 seconds down as well. So that will be qualifying done and dusted.
Bit of an anticlimactic one, but needless to say though, that, as you said, that is very much qualifying over. Dominant Square, he will cross the line. He was only 2 seconds down on his lap time. Just want to note that. But Slayer won last week, and he has grabbed his second pole position, I believe. Is it his second? Let me double check right here. No, that's his third. My mistake. That is his third pole position now. And is it 2 in a row? It is 2 in a row. No. No, it's not. Never mind. No, it's not. Well, it's two in a row for Alpine. Let's put it that way. Actually, it's 3 in a row for Alpine, actually, as Slayer got pole in Japan. So Alpine really stepping up their qualifying game as they are on pole once again. Phantom lines up on the front row. That's exactly what he needed, as the championship rival is down in P6. Shredder in P3 ahead of Ball Guy. It's Ethab, James B, Redeemer, Slow and Steady, Sprightly, Days Freak rounding off the top 10. Avi, Frizy, Square, able to set a lap time, but not in the top 10. And I believe it was Valkyrie. I already forgot the rest. Lovely. Valkyrie was one of the 3 that didn't set a lap time.
Yep.
And as I said, it's a dry race. So, strategy will play a part. Let's look over to the race director as of right now. And so far, everyone is on the soft compounded tire. Obviously, the top 10 have to start on the tire that they qualified on. Speaking of which, that rule is scrapped for next season. Not next season in BRL, but next season in F1. So the top 10 tire rule won't be a thing. So this is going to be the second last season that we will see that here in BRL, as we are going to have another season in this game after this season. We'll just have to see how that pans out. But so far, it's still everyone on the soft compounded tires, so maybe people are thinking that the softs are better at the start.
I said this a million times in Tier 3, but feels down to me I would do this medium soft because it is a faster strategy. So, very interesting.
Well, I think Avi was listening.
Yes. Taking my advice, young one.
Oh, and Frizy. There we go. The mediums are now starting to bump up. Valkyrie.
Dominant square on the hards.
I'm not seeing that.
That's what I see.
Oh, well, he's switching back and forth. There we go. Now he's on the mediums.
Yeah.
So 4 people have decided to go onto the medium compounded tire for this. Actually, no, 5 people. Henchman switched last second. So both Williams have opted for the medium compounded tire. Mercedes splitting their strategies. Frizy going onto the mediums. Butters decided to go onto the softs. Square has decided to go opposite to his teammate. Same with Valkyrie. We'll have to see how the medium runners can pan out for this race. But the grid order, this is definitely not going to stay the same going into turn 1.
I think whoever gets the most slipstream is going to come out on top.
I mean, as you said, as the case is in Russia, it's also the case here, as well. Being in P3 could be your best bet. And Shredder, he's currently sitting in P3. If he gets a decent start, gets the slipstream, could potentially watch out for that. Let's refer back to 2021, actually, that 2021 season. Max Verstappen, he started P3 directly behind the 2 Mercedes. The 2 Mercedes, they were squabbling a little bit. Verstappen tucked into the slipstream, got that slipstream, then pulled to the right-hand side, the left-hand side, late braked them on the racing line, which gave him the grip. It sailed around the outside of both of them and took the lead. Needless to say, he never looked back. Can Shredder do it?
I mean, we're comparing an IRL to a virtual video game. That's really not that good, so.
Well, I mean, you never know. Someone could do it.
You never know.
You just don't know. No one expected Slayer to dominate USA, yet he did exactly that. So, you never know.
Yeah, we just never know. He's got to wait by until the end of lap 36.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait for that. 36 laps. It's not going to be a wet race like it was in Realistic, as that was a very, very long race. But safety cars can definitely play he can definitely play a part. We'll just have to see. 36 laps, 16 drivers as per the attendance of Tier 4. Always being on point. They have never gotten less than 15. I just want to note that. Slayer is now going to line up in his grid slot for his 3rd pole position of the season. Henchman will be the last person to line up on his grid spot for P16. It's going to be a wild one.
It will indeed.
As we are now on 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. A decent start for the front two, but Slayer getting the better traction and pulls away. Then he manages to hold position still, but the slipstream is starting to take effect. There's already a bunch of people squabbling into turn 1. Phantom pulls to the left-hand side. Is he going to go for a move around the outside? No, Slayer's just going to be able to cover it off. Everyone so far nearly keeping it clean. Slayer has to cut through the grass. He made contact with Phantom, who holds the lead still. I take that back, actually, as they're going wheel to wheel now. Down into turn 4. Phantom going to have the inside late braking for the up-in. Contact between the two. And Slayer manages to stay ahead, but Phantom trying to stay around the outside. So the top two really going at it as of right now. Slayer managing to hold position still ahead of Phantom. Shredder holding P3 ahead of Bald Guy. Ethab in P4 ahead of James B. Squares at the P7 on the medium compounded tires. A great start for the Aston Martin. Butters in P8. Redeemer P9. Days Freak in P10. A lot of contact between a couple drivers. I think I saw a couple front wing as well. So a bit of a chaotic one, but so far, no retirements. Further back, Square and Butters are going at it as Butters has gotten past Square for P7. Slayer, though, he's going to lead the first lap of 36. But Phantom is looking a little bit close. James B, though, is alongside Ethab right now for P5. They're going wheel to wheel down the main straight. Ethab on the right-hand side, James B on the left-hand side. Who breaks later? It's going to be Ethab, and he's going to hold position down into turn 1.
Oh, that was...
Oh, no, never mind. It's James B's round.
I saw that. Butters just tapped the rear gearbox of James B. If that gets sent in as a steward, we'll just have to wait and see as adds more front wing flying. I believe that was Dominant Square. Yes, it was.
Yep. No right side end plate for the Aston Martin. He had such a great start. He did. He was up to P8, P7, but that has now all of a sudden unraveled. And I can tell just by the chat that no one wants that. As Redeemer's out.
Is
that a curb?
Yeah,
that's a curb.
Off a curb. That
Virtual
sucks.
safety car deployed.
He was on such a good roll, too.
I believe, if I am not mistaken, that is Redeemer's second retirement? No, it's 4th, actually. I was way off. But that is his 4th retirement of the season. And that's not what Alfa Romeo have wanted, as now Haas could have a chance of biting back if Shredder manages to get ahead of Phantom. So now things have evened out between the top two in the constructors. James B is into the pits, most likely to change a front wing, I think. Yes, it is. That is a front wing change for the... No, it's not. So he's just going to use the virtual safety car to his advantage. I thought I saw a front wing. All right.
No. Delusional.
Yeah, I am very much delusional. Thank you very much for pointing that out.
Yes.
So virtual safety car still deployed. Slayer and Phantom, they were really going at it on the first couple of laps. Slayer managing to stay ahead, though. I'm honestly surprised that Phantom didn't get a drive-through damage for that, as he may not get damage, but he's gonna get a time penalty. I was on board with that. He gets a time penalty for exceeding track limits. Meanwhile, Ethab and Bald Guy going at it. Ethab down the inside in the stadium section, and he has now moved himself back up into P4. Good move there.
Yes, the Mexican trying to get a podium in his home Grand Prix, but Bald Guy will have the DRS and Crusade Ethab, gets a snap of oversteer, so the traction will help him out. But Henchman 3-second time penalty, so time penalties for track limits is already starting to heat up.
It definitely is on lap 3 of 36. Square lost his front wing in sector 2. I suppose he made a mistake as... What? He's on keyboard.
What, Donna Square?
Yeah,
Wait,
Square. I watched the steering. He's on keyboard. I swear.
Keyboard. Bro.
Yeah. Butter's got a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Same with Henchman. Henchman is already up to 6 as Square is now retired. Oh, what's happened there?
Safety car.
Full course safety car.
Well, he was on keyboard, and then, you know how keyboards are sensitive, so he clicked the key where the car would turn left and then right, so the car just kept turning left and never went right, and he just tapped the wall.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the chat right now, and Bailey and Axe are just going crazy. They're like, yeah, let's go.
Bro,
because of Square
you
being
see
on
that
keyboard.
car? Bro.
Yeah, I saw the car. I saw it. Needless to say, I think some people found it enjoyable. So, Slayer, Phantom, Shredder, Ethab are all into the pits. Butters stays out. Butters has stayed out on the soft compounded tire. Valkyrie has stayed out, but that's no surprise. Valkyrie is on the medium. Avi has also stayed out, also on the medium compounded tire. Whether this could hurt them or actually no, this will help Valkyrie and Avi, because if they're planning to do a one-stop, well, they've gotten ahead of the drivers that most likely were doing a two-stop. That is crucial. And you're dead.
Yeah.
I just heard you laugh a little bit there.
No.
So
Dog Square sent a photo of his setup. It's just a Fanatec wheel, and then you just see the keyboard.
Hold on, hold on. Let's have a look at this. Oh yeah, okay, I see it. So he's leaning over the steering wheel to use it. That's funny. Unfortunately, he was the second retirement of the session, but I guess needless to say, Square. What a way to do it.
What a way to go.
What a way to
out,
do
bro.
it on keyboard.
I wish he didn't retire though. That would have been so funny. Just had a
that
late
would've
safety
been great.
car.
The amount of understeer that he would have produced, though, due to the fact that the steering on the keyboard is immediate. He might as well not have a front wing with the amount of understeer that he was going to get. But aside from that, safety car now bunching everybody up. Butters leads in the Mercedes ahead of Valkyrie, Avi, and then Slayer, who has made a pit stop. He is now in P4. So as of right now, the top three all McLaren powered, and the only Renault powered car. Well, there is two, but in terms of like actual manufacturer, it is only one, and he's currently lining up a P4. Phantom in P5, already with a 3-second time penalty in this race. We have three people that have a time penalty. Henchman with 6, Phantom and Butters with 3. That could definitely play dividends near the end of this Grand Prix, as I believe everyone's already bunched up. So I would presume safety car will be in this lap. And you're dead. You have died. I see how it is. I'm alone. Just looking over, so far, everyone has made a pit stop in this race. Aside from the front three, James B, who had to pit early. Well, actually, he pitted on behind the virtual safety car. Henchman pitted onto the hards on the first lap, I believe. Frizy also having to pit in the first couple of laps. This, needless to say, this has saved the race, but anything can happen. This could make or break their race. We'll have to find out. And safety car is in this lap, so it is now Butters' decision. When will they go? It's a bit of a weird section for this track as to when you'll go, as really going down to the start-finish line. You have to get through a corner very quickly.
I would not be surprised if he goes like super late. And
He's gone
he
now.
does.
Oh, no, never mind. I was wrong. I thought he went now. And Valkyrie has not been caught out at all. Ethab's got a 3-second time play for exceeding track limits. Look at Valkyrie, though. A great restart from the McLaren. He's alongside the Mercedes now, down into turn 1. Who's going to get the position? It looks like Butters is going to try and defend the inside. Does he do so? No! Valkyrie's going to sail around the outside And what a great move from the McLaren as he moves into the lead of this Grand Prix. Butters is now under pressure from Slayer. So this is not going Butters' way at all. As Slayer is now going to try and go around the outside into turn 4. Late braking for the Alpine. Move done. And he has now moved himself back up into P2. And that now relegates Butters. Ooh, oh, contact. Slayer managing to hold position still. Butters looking a little bit eager to get that position back, but nothing doing, and now he's under pressure from Phantom now. It has not gone the Mercedes way, and right now, actually, already, Slayer's already starting to build a bit of a gap as Butter goes wide at the exit of the S section. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of stuff going on further back as they're nearly 3 wide, 4 wide nearly. What is going on back here? Avi, Days Free, James B, Bald Guy. What is happening back here as Avi's into P6. Days Freak makes a move on James B, is now up into P7. Bald Guy has fallen down to P9. And that is actually Avi into the pits. Did Avi have damage?
That
could have possibly held everyone up as look at the gap already between the top 5 and James B now as James B makes a move on Days Freak for P6. Days Freak though is going to try and keep it round the outside as getting squeezed onto the curb, but James B managing to hold position and he moves himself up into P6 and is now going to try and diminish that gap. That is a very large gap to Shredder ahead.
Slayer is already getting near the Valkyrie, the McLaren, okay. The McLaren of Valkyrie. Oh, Valkyrie missed, that's Butters now, okay.
And that is another curb incident, I believe. Yes, it is.
It is. That's safety car, by the way. Battle for the lead between Valkyrie and Slayer. Valkyrie is able to stay alongside and will dive at the hairpin, trying to get the better traction. He's still there. He has to cut to take evasive action. No, he doesn't. Gets spun around, but still, coming out of the final corner, still has preferred traction over Slayer. Now here comes Phantom, allows Phantom to be invited to this battle. They're still going wheel to wheel. They've gotten wheel to wheel for at least half the track now, but Phantom with the slipstream. Let's see if he makes it 3 wide. I doubt he does. No, he does not. He's just going to sit back, and Slayer and Valkyrie are still going to go at it. Valkyrie gonna look for switch back, and that will be the battle done and dusted, at least for now, because DRS will be activated, and Valkyrie's actually on the button, and he does not look for a move. I expected him to do some type of dive, but what a good battle between the two, and it's probably not even done yet.
It looked like Phantom was nearly going to go for a move around the outside of Valkyrie down into turn 4. But Valkyrie just covering that off, nearly shoving Phantom off the track.
Sorry to cut you off.
That is a battle, yeah, between the McLaren and the Red Bull. And Sprightly getting ahead. Slayer now has a 3-second time penalty. So that has now relegated Phantom back into this race as they are now tied on penalty points as it stands. Valkyrie, but he's still holding Phantom back, but he's within the DRS of Slayer, which is crucial as really the top 4 are in a bit of a train as it stands. Meanwhile, further back, Bald Guy and Days Freak are going at it. DRS available down this straight. Look how close Phantom is to the back of Valkyrie. Look how much Valkyrie is gaining on Slayer, though. I think they can nearly go 3 wide down into turn 1. It's getting close. Phantom could possibly be making a double move. They're 3 wide going into turn 1. Phantom has the inside. Slayer trying to keep it around the outside. Now has the inside for turn 2. Phantom still keeping his nose in. Shoves the Alpine wide. That has cost Slayer a position and is now down into P1 and could possibly be under pressure from Valkyrie behind as he doesn't have the DRS. Valkyrie just stays behind for the time being. But Phantom making a double move on the straight is now into the lead of this Grand Prix once again.
Oh no! Valkyrie with a very late dive and was sent into a half spin, but was able to collect the car and keep it going though. So not much was lost, but still lost much time.
You say that, I think Valkyrie might have damage.
I don't see any
Just lost
damage.
a bunch of time.
Maybe.
He just lost a bunch of time at the S section, so I think he might have gotten damage from that battle. Yeah, he's got damage. He just lost 2/10 in that corner alone. So that bit of bold maneuvers has not worked out and is most likely coming to the pit soon. Meanwhile, Bald Guy has gotten past Days Freak for P6, and he's going to try and chase after James B. Didn't pit. That's interesting. Back over to the lead, though. Slayer is gaining on Phantom once again. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, and he's going to sail past the Alfa Romeo, and he moves back into the lead of this Grand Prix. But one thing's for sure, look at his DRS.
That is
he is very low. Phantom, well, he doesn't have much DRS either, but he definitely has more than Slayer ahead. Slayer having the DRS, just managing to cover off with Phantom, and will stay in the lead of this Grand Prix. Shredder, though, staying close behind, so the top three have not separated in this race whatsoever. Meanwhile, Days Freak having a look at Bald Guy down the inside into turn 4, and the Alpine makes the move, and is now up into P6. A good move from the Alpine.
Okay, okay. I swear I saw someone drift through that section, but I guess not.
Bit of Tokyo drift. We're not in Japan anymore.
I think
Mr. Shot.
Yeah, I don't think no one did. It may have been the cameras, but Valkyrie probably does have wing damage. He just not came in the pit. Bald Guy and Days Freak. I believe Days Freak is around. Yes, he is. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe a
I think I just tuned away from that.
questionable re-entry, if you ask me, but nonetheless, battle for P1 shaping up again.
Yeah, Phantom staying close to the back of Slayer. Slayer still in this race. He has the DRS down into turn 4, but he's not going to be close enough. He's just going to have to slot behind, and will have to stay in P2 and just stay as close as he can. Meanwhile, further back, Henchman has made a move on Days Freak for P10. Ethap is now joining the party, the Mexican driver at his home Grand Prix. He's most likely going to make the move on Days Freak. Yes, he has. He's gotten past. Could he possibly be looking for a move on Henchman? No, he's not. So he's going to stay behind for now and is going to try and get him at the next DRS zone, I would presume.
Oh, he's on the
Oh, he's getting really close to the back of him. Yeah.
He's gonna get him
wow.
here.
That's the difference between the softs and the hards right there. Henchman really struggling through the S section. You can see it. Ethap just pushing him through these corners. And he has the DRS once again, and it looks like he's just going to sail past. Yeah, I think Henchman just let him by. But needless to say, easy move for the Aston Martin, and he moves himself up into P10.
One thing to talk about is during all this time, James B has still lost time to Valkyrie, Shredder, Phantom, and Slayer. It shows the pace differential when it comes to all the DRS training.
Yeah, it really has. Obviously, James B is actually catching up to the back of Valkyrie, but Valkyrie, by the looks of it, has front wing damage, so James B is clawing back the gap to the McLaren, as the McLaren is just very much losing pace. But he is losing time to the top 3. That just shows the pace difference, as you said. Phantom, though, he is very close onto the back of the Alpine still. And they're tied on penalties as well, which is crucial for Phantom. And it's not what Slayer wants as of right now. Phantom's going to have the DRS, but he's not going to be close enough as its DRS lane just a little bit too short.
Ethap is already on the rear gearbox, is slow and steady. He is just flying right now.
Yeah, Ethap clearly showing what he could do when he is not in a safety car or just in a plethora of madness. And he is making moves left and right on the back of Slow and Steady, as you said. Sprightly got a 3-second time penalty, and that's not going to help his race. He's currently sitting in P8 with Slow and Steady behind him. Look at the difference between Ethap and Slow and Steady and traction. He's basically he's making it look easy, needless to say, in order to get the power down. And he's already on the back of the Red Bull, and this is going to be an easy move for the Aston Martin. And he's going to sail past the main straight on the right-hand side. And he's now up into P9.
Yeah, while you were commenting that battle, I thought Phantom was going to look for a send on Slayer, but backed out of it, which caused him to lose quite a bunch of time, but still trying to regain it, but he's still not DRS, so that's going to help him out here.
He's on the fringes of it, though. 8 tenths, 9 tenths. So Slayer definitely has the pace. But I think just the DRS is helping Phantom stay within the gap as of right now. And, well, he's just sitting there, hoping that Slayer will get another penalty. We'll just have to find out if that will happen. Meanwhile, James B is on the back of Valkyrie. He's going to think about diving down the inside into turn 13. But he's just going to have to stay behind for the time being. Obviously, Valkyrie having some sort of damage. And this is hurting James B. Corner through corner through corner. But I think this is going to be an easy move for him now. He's all over the back of the McLaren. He's on the ERS button. He's got a load of ERS, does the AlphaTauri. He pulls out to the right-hand side, and it's going to be a simple move for the AlphaTauri with DRS. And he moves himself up into P4. And is now going to try and chase after Shredder. But, I mean, 11 seconds nearly. That's quite the gap.
Battle for P10 between Henchman and Slow and Steady. Slow and Steady, staying alongside the Williams driver. We can both.
Whoa!
Whoa, what a send from Henchman there. Wow.
That wasn't even a send. That was just pure traction right there. I think the hard compound tires are starting to come back to him now, as he really had the traction go around the outside into turn 2, making the move into turn 3, defending that position. So, well done, Henchman, on finding the grip. Someone who is still finding grip, no matter where he goes, though. Ethap, once again, giving pressure to the car ahead, as he's all over the back of Sprightly. But I think he's not going to be able to make a move. Meanwhile, yellow flag, Henchman. He hasn't DNF'd. But once again, that curb has proven to be deadly this race.
Oh, Battlefield lead shaping up. Slayer missed his turn 2, which will help Phantom shape up the corner. Valkyrie's in the pit lane for front wing change. Phantom will have the DRS on Slayer. He just doesn't need to use the battery considering that Slayer's blinking. Phantom doesn't look for the move on Slayer. I'm actually surprised.
I think he's just going to play it safe, stay behind, and possibly go for the move later on. We'll just have to find out how that pans out. Meanwhile, Ethap has gotten past Sprightly and Frizy, actually, and is now up into P6, but Sprightly trying to get close to the back of the Aston Martin, but it's just not enough, and we'll have to stay behind. Phantom now gets a 3-second time penalty. That's now 6 seconds to his race time, and that is going to hurt him if he gets more, because Shredder is 4.7 behind. If Shredder has the pace, he can catch up. Meanwhile, Ethab, once again, closing onto the back of another driver. He's like a shark this race. Any chance he'll get, he'll bite. Meanwhile, that's a yellow flag. Sprightly's round.
Oh. Ethab
Sector
is just
2,
on a charge.
once again.
If you give Ethab I think if you give Ethab equal tire set than everyone else, I think he would just be on a flyer. Battlefield lead, by the way. Phantom looked for a move, but Slayer, very deep on the brakes, was able to stay ahead. But with Slayer being below 10 batteries, going to blink, Phantom should use the ERS here, in my opinion, as he's probably going to stay behind. And that was Frizy actually pitting, and Ethab got around the bald guy for P5.
Yep, that's another move for the Aston Martin, and he now moves himself up into the top 5 of this race. Obviously, he's on the soft competitive tire, and he will most likely have to, not most likely, he will have to pit once again. This is soft for him. You have to be on 2 separate tire compounds. You have to be on a mandatory tire, which is usually the opposite tires that you start the race. So either, if you start on soft, you're either medium or hard, either one of the 2. And Ethab trying to mitigate that after having a poor start, and he's up into P5, in which everyone most likely will pit. So, with that in mind, that P5, that's legitimate. That P5 stands.
Once again, battle for the lead shaping up. Slayer at 0% battery. So he's actually losing more time than he would actually gain on straights. Ethab, just wow.
Fastest lap of the Grand Prix for the Aston Martin, now trying to chase down James B for P4. One thing I noticed, though, before I switched the telemetry off, I can't word today. is that Phantom, by staying on the back of Slayer, he has saved a bunch of ERS. He's now in the 60s as it stands. Valkyrie now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 118.6. I nearly said 116. This isn't the end of the Grand Prix. This is halfway through the Grand Prix. What am I on? Phantom? Hang on a minute. Does he not have DRS? Oh. He was close to not having DRS there. I saw him just outside of a second. But I was wrong.
He's flirting with the gap, though.
He is. It looks like he will get the DRS, though, down the main straight, and this is what's helping him, as I said before. This is what's helping him in this race, just staying within that DRS range, gaining ERS while staying on the back of Slayer. This is exactly what he wants. Meanwhile, Valkyrie's made a move on Dace Freak, I believe, before the S section. Wish I caught that. That could have been a beautiful move.
Dace Freak got passed by Frizy as well. He's just severely off the pace.
I'll have a little bit of a look, but it looks... Visually, it doesn't look like he has front wing damage. There isn't a chip or anything on the end plates. So I think he's just struggling on that tire. Does he come into the pits? No. Meanwhile, Valkyrie now starting to shape up a move on Henchman. Doesn't have the DRS, however, down this straight. So he'll not have that benefit as of right now. And, well, he's just going to have to try and maximize these corners and possibly get a run on the Williams. And it looks like he is definitely doing that. And he's on the back of Henchman, and Henchman just lets him by. And now Valkyrie is up into P9. Meanwhile, Frizy and Henchman now going at it. Henchman just lets Frizy by. And Frizy is now back up into the top 10.
Bald guy
gets a 3 second. Ooh. So far, 4 drivers do not have a time penalty. James B, slow and steady, Valkyrie, and Frizy. Actually, no, 5, my mistake. Ethab gets another 3-second time penalty, speaking of which, that puts him now to 6 seconds. Yes, it does. So he is now at 6 seconds. He's currently chasing after one person with no penalties, which is James B, and he's 1.3 behind the AlphaTauri. And, well, as of right now, I would presume that James B might go on to a set of softs when he pits again. Because no doubt, everyone who hasn't pitted already will most likely have to.
We're just gonna have to wait and see. It's just gonna be a waiting game for all these guys to see when they come in for the new set.
Actually, one thing I want to note, Ethab has done 2 stops already. He's done 2 stops, and he is in P5, and he is fighting for this. This isn't just a P5 that's just like, oh, he's on the sauce, so obviously he's going to get that. No, he's there for a reason. Meanwhile, the 2 McLarens have swapped, and now Valkyrie is up into P8, is going to try and chase after Slow and Steady.
Okay, what a save for the Aston Martin driver. Those softs are definitely falling off now. He needs to get on a set of mediums.
Meanwhile, battle for the lead, shaping up as Phantom is closing onto the back of Slayer once again. He's going to pull to the the left-hand side, my mistake. Around the outside into turn 1. Slayer still defending it into turn 2, turn 3. Phantom trying to go around the outside, and Phantom gets the move done. So Phantom now moves back into the lead of this Grand Prix, but with that extra 3 seconds that he has over Slayer, that's going to hurt him. If he wants to get this win, he's going to have to pull a gap. Why did I feel like someone was calling me? Never mind.
Okay.
It felt like my phone was buzzing. We move. So Phantom now into the lead of this Grand Prix. Slayer, though. Oh my. Slayer is not... His tires definitely aren't going off. Look at him through the S section. He has gained so much time back on the Alfa Romeo. And he pulls to the right-hand side, does the Alpine. And he's going to go onto the inside into turn. A little bit of contact there between the two. But luckily nothing doing. And Slayer will make the move back up into the lead of this Grand Prix. This could hamper him, though, if Phantom gets a good exit. As he is just going to blast down the straight once again, down into turn 1. Phantom not entirely getting the best of exits, but the DRS and the slipstream proving to be powerful, as that's where Phantom is staying within. But I think he just might be a little bit too far back. Yes, he is.
if I was Phantom there, I would have used a little bit more battery because knowing that Slayer passed you before the DRS straight, should have used that to your advantage there. But Ethab is in the DRS into James B, so I would expect the pass for P4 to be done very, very soon.
Possibly into turn 4. Ethab letting James B know right there on the straight that he's there. He wants it. He's going to try and get it. He doesn't entirely get the best of exits out of turn 3. So I think James B is just going to hold position for now. Yes, he does, as Ethab is just too far back to make a move. But if he stays close, well, there could be a move possibly shaping up at the stadium section.
Face Freak is
in the pits.
In the pit lane, so this could be the first of many.
Quite possibly. We'll just have to find out. And well, who's gonna bite? Who's gonna bite? Especially between the front two. Meanwhile, Ethab and James B close together once again.
Oh.
As Sprightly's out.
Is that gonna be a safety car? Yes, it is.
Oh. How things have changed dramatically, and Shredder already biting and saying, going straight into the pits.
Do you go mediums or softs?
I think sauce, in my opinion. I think it's medium.
Medium. See what Ethab does.
And James B. Ethab's on softs. James B, mediums. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
This might be... Oh, wait. No! I was wrong. Looking over the race director. Ethab, his first pit stop, he went on to mediums. He met the allocation. Oh,
this is gonna get good.
The attacker, the shark of this race, Ethab, trying to get a podium. The two cars in front of him are on mediums. Holy, how this is gonna change dramatically. Henchman's got 2 drive-throughs, by the way. I just want to note that. I think he got 2 drive-throughs for speeding under a safety car. I'm gonna check that real quick. Through the race director, the trusty race director. Okay, I'm gonna be scrolling for a bit. Yeah, he's got 2 drive-throughs for speeding under safety car. Wow, okay.
This is gonna
Slayer
change
and Phantom.
everything.
Slayer and Phantom into the pits. Slayer's on mediums. Phantom's on mediums. So everyone ahead of Ethab is on mediums. I think if the soft's gonna last long, which he's proven to have the pace on the softs, Ethab could potentially get a podium. Or even a win. How things have panned out for the Aston Martin.
He has to get a 6-second gap with James B. That's guaranteed, though.
Well, I mean, Ethab has definitely shown the pace here. He could. It's definitely not out of the question.
I mean, it's not, but he needs the safety car to come in as soon as he can.
Would you, though? Because if the softs can't make it, he'd want it to stay out longer so the softs can make it. So, I don't know. Would you?
Valkyrie and Henchman came back in the pit lane for softs.
Oh, they know. They know. Valkyrie knows. Henchman knows. Avi knows. They might know that the softs are the better tire near the end of this. I told you that strategy will play a part.
Wow.
You do not want to tune out on these last couple of laps. You'll miss out. So Slayer leads the safety car, has been leading the majority of this race. Phantom staying close behind, and that will be set to continue. Shredder, who's been running comfortably in P3, just running his own race. He had a 10-second gap to the car ahead and the car behind. Well, needless to say, that has all changed. James B is now on the back of the Haas. Ethab on the softs. He is now in the back of this train. Bald Guy will catch up. Valkyrie will catch up. Slow and steady will catch up. Everyone is now back in this race. Anyone can win this.
Anyone can win this unless you have 9 or more seconds time penalties, because no one is going to grow a 9-second gap, especially if you're in the middle of traffic.
I mean, unless the traffic is super slow compared to you.
Yeah. And no one has 9 seconds or more. Except for Henchman.
Actually, I think Henchman does. I think Henchman has around 9 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. I'll just have to check that when he serves his 2 drive-throughs. But looking over the penalty situation, so far, Phantom, Ethab, Dace Freak all have 6 seconds. Slayer, Shredder, Bald Guy, and Avi 3 seconds. With James B, Valkyrie, Slow and Steady, and Frizy all penalty-free. So they could be the big gainers in this race. My question, though, is, well, the top 2 have won a race. Shredder hasn't. James B has. Ethap hasn't. Bald Guy has. Valkyrie has. I don't think Slow and Steady has. But could there be a potential of a new race winner?
I mean, I'd be here for it.
Wouldn't we all? Everyone would most likely see that. If I'm not mistaken, though, if I look over at the statistics of this tier, we have had 8 unique pole sitters.
Frizy came in for
8
sauce.
unique. Oh, Henchman retired.
Pit lane.
That's in the pits. Oh, and he's gonna hold up Avi. Oh, Williams. This has not gone the way that they would have wanted. Avi being held up by Henchman. Gets onto the soft compound tire, I believe. Yes, he has. Frizy has also gone to the soft compound tire. So, as of right now, 4 drivers on the softs and 7 drivers on the medium. Some people think mediums will comfortably make it. Others think the softs will make it. How's it gonna pan out?
It's gonna be down to personal preference, and when the tire wear starts dying out.
It'll definitely be a factor of tire wear. I have no doubts about that. If the soft runners can make the softs run to the end of this Grand Prix and stay and get ahead of the drivers that they want to get ahead, well, this can definitely help their race. If I'm honest, though, the one person that could potentially be in the box seat here, it's not Ethab, it's Valkyrie.
Avi gets another 3 second for time penalties. Under safety cards is not good. But Slayer is backing the pack up very, very early, so I'm expecting him to go probably on the entry of the final corner.
About to find out as he's
gonna go late.
Backing him up.
And he goes now. Oh, he backs him up again. Oh.
Now he's gone. Race is now resumed. Phantom has been caught out by this, but it looks of it. He's now tucked into the slipstream of the Alpine. Everyone blasting down the straight. As I think Bald Guy is already shaping up a move on Ethap. So Bald Guy making those mediums work. They're 4 wide down into turn 1. Bald Guy trying to make a move. James B. Contact between the 2. And, well, James B. will manage to stay ahead. Ethap goes around the outside of Bald Guy. So he manages to get that position back. And is now back up into P5. Look at Valkyrie, though. On the right-hand side of Bald Guy is just not able to make a move as Bald Guy just nearly shoves him off the track there. So far, though, top 7, surprisingly staying stationary. Ethap gets another 3-second time penalty. That's now 9 seconds for the Aston Martin. That has not gone his way at all. That's a yellow flag. That is Avi. Avi is round. Contact possibly. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but Etham needs to go. He's past everybody who sees his can.
Oh.
Frizy gets a 3 second for multiple warnings.
Yeah, Frizy obviously down in P10, and that's not going to help him as Avi's out. That's on track again. The S section biting and it's taken another person as its prey. And we have lost 6 drivers now in this race. 10 drivers still remain. And look at Ethab, one of the 10, the safety car.
Did he get the overtake done on James B? He did.
Huh. Wow. I don't know how I managed that, but I mean, hey, if it's allowed, if he managed it, then fair play. As Days Freeze retired. Frizzy's on a new set. Did Frizzy hit the safety car? Don't tell me. I'm gonna go on board with Frizzy here. As he's coming out of the pit lane. I think he hit the safety car.
He hit the safety car.
Oh no!
It is just completely
That is not what Days Freak wanted. As now he has become the 7th retirement of the session. One Alpine retiring, but the other Alpine still doing amends in this race, and he's still leading. Phantom still in P2, Shredder still in P3. Ethab now up into P4, getting ahead of James B. We're gonna need to have a look at that if he got the position right before the safety car was called. But I would presume that he got it.
No, he got it.
Super close. This reminds me of. That actually reminds me of Carlos Sainz and Antonio Giovinazzi at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. There was a safety car when Mick Schumacher crashed. I think James B, bald guy, knowing that the softs are the better tire. Yep, there it is. Sauce for the Ferrari, sauce for the AlphaTauri. Valkyrie hitting onto a set of medium? No, soft. They were glowing. It looked like they were glowing. And, well, it's now soft compounded tire. So, everyone now going to bunch up behind the safety car once again, and we now only got 4 drivers on the the medium compounded tire between 5 people on the soft, as Henchman has left the session. And, well, this is not what Williams wanted for a race. And, well, yeah, they come home with no points. Lap 29 and 36. There's going to be, I believe, possibly 6 laps of racing. Might come in at the end of lap 30.
Probably will.
And most likely we'll just have to wait and see. But Ethab, currently the highest soft runner, but he's on 5-lap old soft compounded tire. How much has that tire deteriorated? That's the question. Is it still good? We're gonna go on board with them. They look okay. They look all right. So I mean, tire wear has worked.
In my opinion, Ethab should pit again, but he's probably will lose more time than he would gain. So at this point, you've made your bet already.
Slow and steady's in.
Slow and steady's in.
He's getting off of the medium compounded tire. Is now going to go on to the soft, I would presume. Yes, it is. So now that is 6 drivers on the soft compounded tire, 3 on the mediums. Phantom, Shredder, and Slayer. They are not betting on anything. Ooh. Phantom nearly hit the back of Slayer right there, as it looked like he's just trying to warm up his tires and broke a little bit too late. Nearly hit the back of the Alpine. That would have been heartbreaking for their race, but luckily nothing doing. Now things have completely changed now. So Ethab obviously being the highest soft runner, but championship rival of Phantom, P5, no penalties. James B.
Wow. Is today the day where we can find out if he has a mic or not?
Maybe, maybe. We have never had an interview with him. He has finished on the podium plenty of times. He's had 5 wins, if I'm not mistaken. We've never been able to talk to him. We'll have to see if he can. Actually, no, he's gotten 3 wins. My mistake. But he's gotten quite a few podiums, needless to say. It could happen. It could happen. Safety car is in this lap. And as I predicted, we will have 6 laps of flat-out racing No holding back. No conservative. All out. All aggressive. Who's going to do it? Who is going to make the bold moves? It's most likely going to be the soft runners. But will Phantom try and get ahead of Slayer? Will Shredder try and get ahead of the both? Or will the soft runners strike?
Oh,
Phantom gets a
no!
5-second time penalty for severe collision with Slayer. That's not going to help the race. Race is now resumed. Slayer's now at 8. Phantom's now at 11. And look at Ethap. He's already pressurized at the back of Shredder down the main straight. As the Phantom now going wheel to wheel with the Alpine. Goes in between the two. But Phantom is going to try and go around the outside into turn 1. Slayer just managing to cover it off though. And will stay ahead in the lead. Never mind. As Phantom goes around the outside, goes off the track in doing so. But it now makes the move up into P1. Shredder is now on the back of Slayer and is possibly going to make a move into turn 4. Thinks about it. It's just not enough. Look at Ethap around the outside, now down the inside into turn 5. Shoves the Haas wide, but he makes the move and he's now up into P3. James B just staying close behind. Valkyrie makes a move on Bald Guy for P5. As possibly looking for a move on James B around the outside, but he goes off the track in doing so, and he's going to have to see position and will have to stay behind in P6. Bald Guy now looking for a move on the McLaren. The McLaren goes wide, but he's just going to hold position for now. But what a bit of a chaotic one, but so far everyone keeping it clean, and Phantom making the move when he needed to. But 11 seconds now for Romeo. That could possibly get removed or not. We'll have to see who's at fault. There will most likely be a stewards report. But Phantom leads ahead of Slayer, ahead of Ethap. Ethap trying to make amends for his 9 seconds worth of penalties as James B now on the back of Shredder.
So with penalties, that will be James B, P1, Valkyrie P2, and someone said he P3.
The 3 drivers with no penalties.
Yeah.
Wow. Unless someone just manages to pull a gap, we'll just have to find out. But Slayer staying all over the back of Phantom as of right now. He wants this win. Right now, though, it's not going to happen. But he's going to try everything to do so.
If Phantom
When I say everything, I don't mean crash out the field.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
If Phantom holds up Slayer and backs him up in the Ethab, I think that's going to be Phantom's objective here.
Quite possibly. Obviously, Ethab wants to close out to the back of these two, and that's exactly what James B wants as well. James B pressurizing the Haas of Shredder as of right now, but he's just not able to make a move as of yet, unless he gets a good run out of turn 16 and turn 17. Has he done so? It looks like he has. DRS has now been enabled. Is James B going to look for a move on Shredder now for P4? If he wants to stay on the back, he's going to have to do so. Shredder's already blinking by the looks of it. And James B now pulls to the right-hand side. He's going to dive down the inside into turn 1. And it's not an easy move as Shredder manages to hold position. Great defense there from the Haas.
Wow.
He's now starting to break the toe from the AlphaTauri. And it's looking like he's just going to manage to do that. Meanwhile, Valkyrie and Bald Guy going at it a little bit. Valkyrie still managing to hold position as of right now. Shredder going a little bit deep at turn 5. That can invite James B once again. As Ethap is actually, that's something. Ethap has lost touch of DRS. He's out of 2 seconds of the cars ahead. Meanwhile, Shredder gets a 3-second time penalty. So that is going to hurt his race. Does Ethap have some sort of damage, or are the tires going off? I don't know. But that has allowed the top two to get away. Meanwhile, the top two, Slayer got a 3-second time penalty, and now they are equal. As James B and Valkyrie going at it. Valkyrie dives on the inside of the hairpin. Valkyrie is now the lead driver without a penalty.
Is he about to win this race?
Quite possibly. Meanwhile, for the lead, Slayer has made a move on Phantom once again, and is now back up into the lead. Meanwhile, Shredder is on the back of Ethap, round the outside into turn 1.
Oh!
Ethap trying to keep his nose in, but it's just not enough. Contact. Oh, Valkyrie cutting the corner a little bit. Gets a really good exit, though, out of turn 3. Is now going wheel to wheel with the Aston Martin. And he's going to get the move done. And now Valkyrie is up into P4. And he's within the back. He's within touch of possibly 6 seconds. Now James B goes around the outside of the Aston Martin. And he's going to get the move. And is now up into P5. And is going to try and gain back what he lost.
So instead it will no longer
Wrath,
be
my voice
three.
is not fried.
James B, 3 seconds.
Oh! Well, that's changed dramatically. Valkyrie, now the only person without a penalty. Wow, okay. I thought it was James B that could potentially have something out of this. Scratch that. Valkyrie is sitting pretty as of right now. Slayer says the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Is that taken away by anybody? No, it isn't. Valkyrie, though, making a move on Shredder, has the DRS, has the slipstream. James B is blinking. Valkyrie, don't think he's blinking, but he's going to easily make the move. Look at James B, though. Could he possibly be making a move on Valkyrie? He's going to think about it. But James B is not going to be able to do anything yet. So he's going to have to slot behind Valkyrie. All he needs to do is stay within 6 seconds of the top two cars. And he's won this, because those 5 seconds get removed, and he's outside of 6 seconds. He's not going to get the win. Meanwhile, Ethap and Shredder going at it. Ethap trying to go around the outside, now on the inside. Contact! And Ethap shoving the Haas wide, and will make the move once again, but Shredder's going to get the switchback done, and moves himself back up into P5. Oh!
This is all kicking off right now. Bald guy gets another 3. Oh,
That's not what Bald guy wanted. Oh.
The dump and run!
Oh! That is now Shredder all the way down into P9. The man who was looking comfortable in this entire race. Well, he isn't comfortable anymore. He is now down into P9. Dead last. Won the last lap of this Grand Prix. And Phantom has the DRS on Slayer. But it's just not enough. It is just not enough. He's not going to be able to make a move. Meanwhile, Bald Guy making a move on Ethab. And now Frizy making a move on Ethab. Meanwhile, James B and Valkyrie going at it once again. James B, he doesn't care about the 6 seconds between Valkyrie and Slayer. He just wants the position. And he now gets ahead of Valkyrie. And is now up into P3. Valkyrie, could he be possibly challenging? No. I think Valkyrie knows. Valkyrie knows what he has to do. Meanwhile, for the back, Frizy has gotten past Bald Guy, and Frizy's now up into P5.
Frizy would be provisionally P2 right now. Wait, no, he'd be provisionally P3.
Quite possibly.
Provisionally P3.
We'll have to find out, but it was looking comfortable for this entire race. But 2 last lap safety cars have ruined this. Slayer picked up the pace last week, dominated the US Grand Prix. It was looking like it was going to happen again, but it's just not enough. He crosses the line to cross the line first. Phantom will cross the line P2. James B, though, will grab the positions, but Valkyrie, the only person without a time penalty, grabs the win. James B will finish at P2. Slayer will keep his podium.
Wow.
Valkyrie with driver of the day as well. Wow. What an end to the race that was. Valkyrie, the only person without a time penalty. And well, needless to say, that's paid off. James B, who's had a lackluster couple of races, he's back on the podium once again. Slayer, another podium. It may have not been the win, but it's his second podium in a row. And well, I'm out of words.
Today's the day.
Someone's excited. There we have it then. Valkyrie wins the Grand Prix by having no penalties in this race whatsoever. James B grabbing a podium. It's been a while since he stood on the podium. Well, he's done it. Slayer grabs P3. It was looking comfortable for this race, but it was just not enough. Phantom will grab P4, not the day he would have wanted, but he still grabs a handful of points. Frizy grabbing a top 5 finish ahead of Slow and Steady. Ball Guy will finish in P7. Shredder down in P8. Ethab, the home man, in P9. Days Freak, Avi, Henchman, Sprightly, Butters, Square, and Redeemer all retiring from this race. And what a race it was.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're just waiting for Valkyrie and James B join the party.
I think Valkyrie is having issues by the looks of it. We're gonna try and get James B in here. Actually, oh no, there he is. Come on, today's the day. Please.
Oh, Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, unfortunately, will not be able to join us.
Wow.
I think we can start it off straight off the bat since Slayer's already here. So, Zach, why don't you take it away? And, Slayer.
Well, Slayer, you were on track, the leader for basically this whole race, but until on the last safety car restart, contact between you and Phantom gave you both 5-second time penalty. Walk us through your race, really, and that contact to Phantom, which basically ruined your race, at least for now.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to get that penalty removed. Phantom was really pushing me to my limit. That's the only reason I had those time penalties. But yeah, Phantom, he ran his race really well. Everyone did. It was just crazy how many people finished. Race, it was alright. Difficult. Qualifying, I was comfortable at. I just need to work on my race pace.
Well, you say that, yet you're one of the fastest drivers out there. So, I mean, can't be too disappointed about your race pace if you were one of the fastest.
Yeah, I was looking to pull a gap like I did at Coda, but I guess that was because people got unlucky. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. But nonetheless, you still managed to grab a podium. Next week, though, we go basically across the world over to the Australian Grand Prix. What are your thoughts?
That's honestly one of my worst tracks, but I'm going to practice like how I did for this track. I did over 200 laps in the span of a week trying to like collect data and stuff for this track. So, yeah, I guess I could say it paid off.
Yeah, it definitely paid off nonetheless. Congratulations to you on another pole and another podium. Zach, any questions?
No, I do not.
And I'm sad now.
Yeah.
Dang, I think that's it.
Yeah, James V is not able to join us here tonight.
Yeah.
We were hoping for it, but it's sadly not going to happen. Hopefully, at some point, we can get an interview with him. If he doesn't get another podium, I'll just invite him at the end of the season.
Can I say something before you
I'll
end
honestly
the stream?
do it.
Like,
Mark my words.
Things. He actually had a really good like low profile race. He was just like right there out of nowhere coming at the last safety car restart, and he had a fresh set of softs. I used all my softs in qualifying, which was stupid of me, but I did it, so I couldn't really challenge that. And him and Valkyrie, they were gaining on me and Phantom when we were fighting, but yeah, they both did amazing. I'm proud of them.
It's a very nice words from you to your competitors, needless to say. And well, all I need to say for that is thank you for saying that. So, well, although they are not able to join us, I'll just quickly recap what happened between for the two drivers. James B, as Slayer said, a low-profile race, but managing to grab a podium on the last couple of laps, not able, unfortunately, to get the win due to getting a 3-second time penalty. But he still managed to grab a podium in what has been a lackluster couple of races for the AlphaTauri. Valkyrie, driver of the day, pulling aggressive moves, and when the safety car came out, needless to say, Valkyrie made it count and grabbed the win, being the only person with no penalties in this race. And well, congratulations to both those drivers on their results here tonight. But that is going to be everything here for Tier 4. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, though, when we rip around the Mexican Grand Prix for Tier 1 and Tier 2. Same time, same place, but possibly with more action. So be sure to tune in tomorrow, same times. Then, Sunday, we've got ACC Tier 2 starts, and then Tier 1. Then we go all round once again as we start for the Australian Grand Prix with Formula 2 on Wednesday, Realistic on Thursday. And then we come back to Tier 3 and Tier 4 on Friday. But from Zach and I, that is everything today, and